I never saw any substantial conflict between Adam and Eve and what we know in light of evolution, but it would seem their story would just be another part of Babylonian polemic because Genesis 1 through 11 is mostly told through that literary style, but it would I would consider it part of that if not for the fact that a variety of different cultures all around the world have a shared recollection of a first man and woman, not just in Mesopotamia, but in Persia, India, China, Greece, Germania, Scandinavia, the Americas, the Proto-Indo-Europeans, all of them. And it's usually in the context of a fallen paradise, a tree of life, and sometimes a serpentine divine being that stole immortality from man. And I don't believe in coincidences.
Well, yeah. So you keep on mentioning a couple things that are worth talking about directly. You talk about it being a Babylonian polemic, and I think that's entirely correct. The issue I just press on is any sort of either or logic. Just because it has elements of a Babylonian polemic doesn't mean it's not doing other things as well. I think when you talk about histories that are passed down in oral traditions for long periods of time and then written down and then compiled later, you're talking about several different contexts that that story goes through and several different ways that that story is told. And so it completely makes sense that it would have a contemporary relevance at that time to speaking against, the Babylonian pantheon. But that doesn't somehow detract from other layers that were there too. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
pretty much.
John Walton kind of goes over all this in his book. If you read it,
Yeah, and I think yeah. I mean, I've read John Walton's stuff. He's a friend of mine, and I really appreciate his work too. But I mean, in the end, I think what we're left with though is something that I'm not actually sure, independent of the fact that we believe in the inspiration of Scripture, what we would make of it. I mean, we'd probably just consider it merely a myth, but because we take Scripture as meaningful, it's because it's connected to the church tradition, the same tradition by which we find, Jesus, the one who rose from the dead. That's what grants legitimacy to it, where we wonder there might be some more truth to it, right?
yeah.